this political, historical, and sociological channel. Today, I want to share with you a topic that I thought is very sensitive but very important for our society. An analysis of a California offender database shows that thousands of child molesters are being released from prison after just a few months. The Daily May.com investigation reveals that more than 7,000 offenders were convicted of indecent acts with a child under age 14. Those 700 individuals were released the same year they were convicted, and others that committed some of the worst offenses that anybody can do, others likewise served life sentences. John Hatami blames Proposition 2016 bill allowing early parallel from non-violent offenders that was supported by his boss, LADA George Gascon. Hatami said that thousands of child victims are denied justice, and George Gascon and his radical group of prosecutors could care less. The statistics clearly shows that these people are not reformed. They are going to get out and re-engage in the same actions. By letting these people get out earlier, we are allowing a lot of more victimization. It is scary. It's unclear if the prison time statistics in Megan's Law's database are similar for other states. One of the offenders in the database is Reseda resident Carlos Alexander Nahue, of 48 years old, who was convicted on continuous child molestation in 2015. Los Angeles court records say he was charged in October of 2014 and pleaded no contest to the crime in January of 2015, but was sentenced to just 2 days in a Los Angeles County jail and 5 years of probation. He now lives 1 block from Royal Montessori School Day Care Center and 3 blocks from Bracet Elementary School, according to the Megan's Law's database. Noah Thomas Holt of Westonville in Santa Cruz County was convicted in 2013 of harassment and indecent acts. The 31 years old was convicted in December of 2013, but Megan's Law's data says he was released within a year, and according to his Facebook page, started a new job at Threshold Enterprises in Scottsdale, California. In 2014, Holt has posted several photos with a girl on his Facebook page. He was also convicted in 2017. Walterio Lopez Contreras, of 47 years old, was charged in May of 2014 with a bus. He accepted a plea deal with Fresno County prosecutors and was sentenced to 3 years in Wasco State Prison. But court records say he was given credits of 7,900 days to serve, or less than a year. Megan's Law record for Contreras from 3 years ago says he was released in 2016. There is no longer a record for him in the current Megan's Law database. Mountain View resident Terry Armand Costa, of 61, was convicted in 2014 of consorting with a 14-year-old minor and generating indecent content, but he was released the same year. Like most of the states, California has a law requiring offenders to register their address with the Department of Justice and provide updates if they move house. In 1996, the Clinton administration passed a law named after Mega Kanka was such a victim of these crimes. The California Megan Law website, www.com, meganslaw.com, ca.com.gov, allows anyone to search for the offenders with details including name, age, residence, crime, date. they were last convicted and released from prison. It showed 41,794%, 76% offenses committed towards juveniles are people serving approximately 2 years, 10 months in prison. Policies backed by California Governor, who is Gavin Newsom, that allow for shorter sentences to reduce the prison population. Under Newsom, they passed a lot of legislation where they allow resentencing. They allow people to come back, and there's a push to spend less time in prison. That's been the impetus for the last 5 years, getting people out of prison much earlier than their sentences were. DailyMail.com was unable to perform the analysis of offenders added to the database since 2019 because the California Department of Justice added digital blocks on its website to prevent more data be collected and analyzed. The department also refused to release a current copy of the database, which should be public under Megan's law. A spokesman from the Attorney General said the problem was the responsibility of local prosecutors, courts, and state lawmakers. Despite being a mental disorder according to the International Classification of Diseases established by the World Health Organization, there are attempts to normalize this practice. One of the best known groups is the MAP movement, which has called for its removal from this catalog of diseases. A couple of years ago, MAP made several publications on Facebook after which users asked to block and eliminate groups that promote this type of ideas. They used the Change.com org platform for this. These behaviors are socialized and normalized. Another phenomenon that reflects the normalization of relationships between people with great difference of age range could be the sugar mommy and the sugar daddy. That is the practice of dating between a wealthy older person and a younger one who needs financial help. The specialist points out that this tendency is seen as something permissible, and even more so in cases when the older person is male and the younger is female. Such behavior is reflected in common circumstances in Mexican families. Let's remember that grandmothers or grandmothers used to live this way when they were married since they were teenagers, like 13, 12 years old. They were married with more older men, and this was normal. Legal education is a strategy that could combat this culture that normalizes violence and abuse against people under the age of 18, and restrictions can be applied at home to improve children's safety on social networks. People must also be subject to social pressure in some way. This is what a spiral of silence is about. A spiral of silence is a theory from the field of the political science proposed by the German politician scientist Elisabeth Noel Neumann, that explains how individuals adopt their behavior to prevalent attitudes about what is acceptable in society. Human beings are gregarious animals that live in groups. What others do matters to us and affects us because we depend on each other. Therefore, as a survival resource, people continually probe how others think and what others do in order to adapt. Some people, very few, will be able to disagree with the group. Most will not. Thus, if you have an opinion that almost no one shares, the tendency is to silence, for being in acceptance with the other people. with your community, and hence the spiral of silence. The more go against the ideas of the apparent majority remain silent, the stronger the message of the others appears. This is how ideas that are perceived as a majority, even though they are not, they are imposed into society. Also, the stigmatization is systematically used as a means to solve the problem of this kind of attitude. This people is presented to us as a socially stigmatized being because we do not accept them as they are. An attempt is made to appeal to compassion by arguing that the solution is to accept them. The same rhetoric of intolerance is being used. We must not allow them to manipulate us with pity or with the threat of intolerance, against the fear of isolation. In that sense, we must say very clearly that adjectives do not stigmatize, but serve to classify. Classifications help us to communicate effectively. And let's keep in mind these people. We cannot accept the argument of stigmatization for calling them by their name, because we will be accepting a kind of censorship in our freedom of expression. If they censor me for saying what I say, they are stigmatizing me. And it seems that the stigmatized ones are the anti. If we do nothing to stop it and continue on this path, not only will we force it as something normal, but these people will feel and perceive themselves as an oppressive minority. They will have more rights than any other citizen, as is already the case with some minorities. In these circumstances, they will even be able to aspire to social perks in order to live more comfortable. The laws will protect them more and better than others, and if they denounce someone for having offended them, it will be denounced, and one will have to prove that he did not offend anyone. It will be paradise. I would really like to know in the comments what do you think about it. If you like, I hope you can like, give me a thumbs up, share and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much. See you next time. 안녕. 泣いちゃダメ